Welcome to Kiddo.
Today we discuss how to set up a playpen. What you need to baby playpen at home. A playpen is a safe and fun place for a baby to play and sleep at home or outside. Nowadays, many kinds of fashionable and colorful playpens exist with different sizes, functions, and prices. Here we will provide you the steps how to set up a playpen. What is a playpen? A playpen is a small, encircled space for infants to crawl around in. It typically has soft sides that prevent the baby from escaping and can be used outside or indoors. Playpen for kids can be made of metal mesh, plastic with vents, or natural materials such as wood slats. Some have a dome-shaped cover with a carrying handle. Here, we list all the materials needed below. A 1/8 of an inch thick 4'x8 sheet of plywood. 1/4 of an inch round metal rods. 1 can white enamel paint or finish. Scissors, screwdriver, ruler. Pen, pencil, masking tape. Use a marker to mark the holes so it will be easier to drill. Optional, saw or another type of cutter used for woodworking. A playpen is an essential item for any parent, but many parents are unsure how to set it up and clean a playpen. Below are the steps to be confident in your ability on how to set up a playpen and create a safe space for your child. How to set up a playpen for kids step-by-step guide. Before starting the project, you need to know how big your playpen is going to be. To be more specific, you need to consider the size of your plywood and how many holes you want on it. Once done, you can start marking the measurement. First, measure and mark 1 inch from one side of plywood, size 4'x8. Then mark 5 inches on both sides of the plywood sheet. The last thing is to mark the center of the plywood. You have just created a template of your playpen. It would be better to mark holes closer to the edges so it will be easier to drill. Next, use a ruler and measure 2 inches from sides and 4/2 from the center of the plywood. Mark these measurements and connect them to each other with a curved line. The distance between the 2 inches mark and 4/2 mark should be 16 inches. There will be 18 holes total in your playpen, 9 on each side. Don't make it too big or too small to avoid any difficulty in drilling. Now you're ready to drill the holes. Use a 1/4 of an inch size drill bit, and carefully using your hands, start digging from plywood. It will be calmer if you use a clamp or hand screwdriver for this part. To ensure that your holes are pretty straight, it is better to drill first 1/8 of an inch above and below each hole and then remove the remaining amount. Make sure you use a clamp or hand screwdriver for this part. Now that your holes are all made, it's time to insert rods into them. You can do that by using a pair of pliers. Bend both ends of the rod like this. Use a tiny drill tad to make a hole above and below each hole before inserting rods. To create the opening, bend the ends of your rod like this. Then start inserting the rod into holes. Make sure that your playpen can open and close. If it doesn't, you need to adjust the length of your rods to create more space for opening/closing. You can use a drill bit to make holes above and below each hole to make it sturdier. Repeat this step for all rods until your playpen is fully supported. After you finish inserting rods, now it's time to cover the top of your playpen. You can do so by using a piece of plywood. Cut it into 1'x8 size and attach it to the top of your playpen by using nails or a drill. The next step is to paint. You can use a brush or roller for this part. If you are using a roller, make sure you put it at an angle for even distribution of paint. You can start covering the outer part of your playpen with a vinyl sheet if you're done with painting. You can buy this at any hardware hoard, or you can use old ones. Measure and cut it first before attaching it to avoid any difficulties. When covering the outside part is done, it's time to cover the inside of your playpen. To do so, you can use felt cloth for babies. Now that your playpen for kids is all covered, you need to lock it. You can use these locks that can be placed on rods. Tip: you need to measure the diameter of your rod before buying the safety. Make sure you get locks that are pretty tight because if it's too loose, your baby might get their fingers pinched while opening and closing the playpen. Congrats, you're done. Your baby can now enjoy their new playroom. Tips to keep your baby in the playpen. It is essential to keep your baby in a playpen clean and safe. A dirty baby playpen can cause health problems for your baby. Here are some tips for keeping your nursery organized, clean, and secure. Keep an eye on your child when they are in the playpen. Children have died because parents did not observe them. Keep the baby's playpen away from open windows. This is dangerous because your child can fall out of a window and get hurt, or even worse. Always keep the playpen for kids free of sharp objects and toys that can harm your baby. Never leave any kind of toy in your child's playpen when they are not in it. By no means use sharp or rough objects to clean the playpen. This can break your baby's skin and also damage the materials in the playpen. Use a cloth instead. Retain food and drinks away from your child when they are in the playpen. While you may think it is cute, they can choke and get hurt. Always make sure your playpen for kids is not placed in a hot or cold area. This will damage the materials, which can cause the playpen to break and collapse on your child. Warning: playpens for kids come in various styles and designs, and they're most commonly used for infants and toddlers. But the OP is publishing guidelines today warning against using playpens on flat surfaces where babies can sleep, but where they might also be inclined to roll over onto their stomachs, potentially causing suffocation. Conclusion: the best baby playpen is the first and most important thing you need to buy for your baby. It will provide a safe place for them while they grow up and learn about their surroundings. If you are considering buying one, we recommend that it be portable to take with you as needed. We hope this art.
Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe.